Welcome to the Executive Order Audio Library, where we read Trump's full executive orders so you can stay informed about what they contain. There's a lot of them, they affect all of us, and we think you should know what they say. Before we begin, a friendly reminder that the Executive Order Audio Library takes no position on this or any other order. It is intended as a nonpartisan, factual source of information for all people about the text these documents contain. If you find this resource helpful, please like this video so others can find it too. To stay on top of future executive orders, please click subscribe and allow notifications so you can be alerted when new recordings are available. This is a reading of Executive Order 14151, ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing. By the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. Section 1. Purpose and Policy. The Biden administration forced illegal and immoral discrimination programs going by the name Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, DEI, into virtually all aspects of the federal government in areas ranging from airline safety to the military. This was a concerted effort stemming from President Biden's first day in office when he issued Executive Order 13985, advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government. Pursuant to Executive Order 13985 and follow-on orders, nearly every federal agency and entity submitted equity action plans to detail the ways that they have furthered DEI's infiltration of the federal government. The public release of these plans demonstrated immense public waste and shameful discrimination. That ends today. Americans deserve a government committed to serving every person with equal dignity and respect, and to expending precious taxpayer resources only on making America great. Section 2, Implementation. A. The Director of the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, assisted by the Attorney General, and the Director of the Office of Personnel Management, OPM, shall coordinate the termination of all discriminatory programs, including illegal DEI and Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Accessibility, DEIA, mandates, policies, programs, preferences, and activities in the federal government under whatever name they appear. To carry out this directive, the Director of OPM, with the assistance of the Attorney General as requested, shall review and revise as appropriate all existing federal employment practices, union contracts, and training policies or programs to comply with this order. Federal employment practices, including federal employee performance reviews, shall reward individual initiative, skills, performance, and hard work, and shall not, under any circumstances, consider DEI or DEIA factors, goals, policies, mandates, or requirements. B. Each agency, department, or commission head, in consultation with the Attorney General, the Director of OMB, and the Director of OPM, as appropriate, shall take the following actions within 60 days of this order. 1. Terminate, to the maximum extent allowed by law, all DEI, DEIA, and environmental justice offices and positions, including but not limited to Chief Diversity Officer positions. All equity action plans, equity actions, initiatives or programs, equity-related grants or contracts, and terminate all DEI or DEIA performance requirements for employees, contractors, or grantees. 2. Provide the Director of the OMB with a list of all A. agency or department DEI, DEIA, or environmental justice positions, committees, programs, services, activities, budgets, and expenditures in existence on November 4, 2024, and an assessment of whether these positions, committees, programs, services, activities, budgets, and expenditures have been misleadingly relabeled in an attempt to preserve their pre-November 4, 2024 function. B. Provide a list of all federal contractors who have provided DEI training or DEI training materials to agency or department employees. And C. Provide a list of all federal grantees who received federal funding to provide or advance DEI, DEIA, or environmental justice programs, services, or activities since January 20, 2021. Additionally, direct the deputy agency or department head to A. Assess the operational impact, e.g., the number of new DEI hires, and cost of the prior administration's DEI, DEIA, and environmental justice programs and policies. B. Direct the deputy agency or department head to recommend actions such as congressional notifications under 28 U.S.C. 530D to align agency or department programs, activities, policies, regulations, guidance, employment practices, enforcement activities, contracts, including set-asides, grants, consent orders, and litigating positions, with the policy of equal dignity and respect, as just identified in the previous Section 1 of this order. The agency or department head and the director of OMB shall jointly ensure that the deputy agency or department head has the authority and resources needed to carry out this directive. C. To inform and advise the President so that he may formulate appropriate and effective civil rights policies for the executive branch, the Assistant to the President for Domestic Policy shall convene a monthly meeting attended by the Director of OMB, the Director of OPM, and each deputy agency or department head to hear reports on the prevalence and the economic and social costs of DEI, DEIA, and environmental justice in agency or department programs, activities, policies, regulations, guidance, employment practices, enforcement activities, contracts, including set-asides, grants, consent orders, and litigating positions. To discuss any barriers to measures to comply with this order, and to monitor and track agency and department progress, and identify potential areas for additional presidential or legislative action to advance the policy of equal dignity and respect. Section 3. Severability. If any provision of this order or the application of any provision to any person or circumstance is held to be invalid, the remainder of this order and the application of its provisions to any other persons or circumstances shall not be affected. Signed, Donald J. Trump, The White House, January 20, 2025. This concludes the reading of Executive Order 14151, ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing. If you found it helpful, please click like so others can find it too, and do subscribe and click notifications to keep on top of future recordings. Thank you.